And Woj finishes this off saying the NBA is back. The NBA is back.
You know, because like the circumstances are really, really tough right now. So whoever wants it more is going to be able to go out there and take it.
Players. That's what the NBA season comes down to. That's what it's always come down to since the 80s when David Stern decided to make Magic and Bird the face of the NBA. It's a players' league. With the season officially returning, it's the players that will dictate fate. There are players like Giannis who said that this will be the toughest championship you could win. There are players like Dame who doubt all the precautions that the NBA is taking. And you have players like Kyrie who are sitting out because of the lack of response from the NBA on the BLM movement. The Clippers just shut down their practice facility because someone in the Clippers traveling party tested positive. This is an unprecedented time, but there's still a championship in play. What is up, dudes, dudettes, ballers, players? It's your boy MJ. The NBA is officially coming back. Just this past week, they released a schedule for all the 22 teams playing in the Orlando bubble. The NBA really wants the Pelicans to make the playoffs too. And just this past week, more and more players have opted out of playing. The NBA Players Association and the league still haven't come to terms, and we're in July. Florida has become a state with one of the highest rates of new COVID cases in the country. It's being called the ASTERISK Championship, something that ESPN and Jay Williams have vehemently denied, saying that this is the toughest championship to ever win, that if LeBron is able to do this, this puts him on a whole nother level, that somehow he is able to fight a pandemic and still make. This isn't all about LeBron. The situation keeps developing. This has never happened before, so let's break this down and what this championship means. Drop a like. No like goal, I just want to see what y'all can do. Got that new reaction channel I'm going to be reacting to games there when they come back. So yeah, you got a hot take? Well, I'm going to be doing a one hot take go live on Twitch tonight. I'm going to be talking to people on my Discord, seeing their hottest takes, and streaming that to Twitch. So join the Discord and tune on Twitch because some of y'all be wildin'. Bruh. Links for all that in the description. And 87% of y'all ain't subscribed. Damn, we'd really be at 500k if like 10% of y'all subscribed. And then I could give away NBA 2K21, a PlayStation 5. Well, subscribe. So this is how the new format is supposed to go. 22 teams, 13 Western Conference teams, 9 Eastern Conference teams will return to play 8 regular season games to determine playoff seeding. And apparently they're gonna delay the audio to cut out cussing. Man, if I can't hear Melo go, I got it, fuck out of here! Free throw is off. I really want to hear LeBron on the court. Heck, even Kawhi. Like, imagine Kawhi trash talking and saying board man gets paid live on national television. These are the teams that got the invite, and you can see teams that weren't in the top 8. Because no team will be able to complete their 82-game season, if the 8th seed in the conference is 4 or less games ahead, there will also be a play-in tournament between the 8th and 9th seed for that last spot in the playoffs. These teams are out of the playoff picture right now, but they have an opportunity. So it's going to be 16 days of regular season with 5 to 6 games each. Now, the schedule for each team was made by a league picking 8 games from the remaining schedule, which is why a team like the Pelicans, who had the easiest remaining schedule, gets the easiest games out of anyone, and a team like the Lakers gets a mix. Zion looks ready, man, but shit, let the man play before expecting him to dominate like Jordan. But let's be honest, besides making the playoffs, the top 8 teams seeding in each conference ain't even matter because there's no home court advantage. That is something that doesn't show up in the box score, but is tangible. Now, it's neutral ground. No fans, no tough atmosphere for the road team, just a pickup game. It's more about avoiding teams with the seeding, like the Rockets don't want to face the Clippers in the first round, although Patrick Beverley, yeah, he wants all the smoke. Now, with the format out of the way, what really is concerning is this. This is a list of players that have officially said they aren't playing in the season reboot. No, this list does not include players who have COVID and will continue to play like Nikola Jokic. There's actually quite a few players in that category. These are just players who have stayed for whatever reason, whether it's their own safety, their family's safety, the BLM movements, etc. they're not playing. For example, Avery Bradley said that he doesn't want to play because of safety concerns since he has a son with respiratory issues, to which Perkins had a freaking identity crisis. All the homies say Kendrick Perkins.
You're stupid.
There is a fraction of players who are hesitant to restart. I'm gonna play this little tidbit about what I said about Kyrie before. Also, why are we hitting on Kyrie? Kyrie is trying to bring light to the BLM movement and work with the league. This is what he said. This is what ESPN called him. Heck, Bleacher Report accused him of trying to start a whole new league in the Nets group chat. His teammates responded with this. And now Perkins is blaming Kyrie for distracting the media when the media chooses to focus on Kyrie.
That's stupid. Use your common sense.
He's not the only one. Dwight Howard stood beside Kyrie on these issues along with other players. You have to remember that Kyrie is the president of the Players Association, and so if he's speaking out for the group, there's more than just him. This comes from a lack of quick response from the NBA, so players are double-minded. Just recently, the NBA did approve writing Black Lives Matter on all the courts and allowing players to have whatever writing they want on their jerseys to make a statement. So steps are being made, and out of those players, here's the players that were already on playoff teams. The Nets are literally missing half of their roster due to players sitting out and injuries. The Lakers have signed 3 new players: Markieff Morris, Dion Waiters, and J.R. Smith. Imagine having J.R. Smith and Dion Waiters on the same team. The simulation is really on something right now. Like, we're really about to have Dion Waiters and J.R. Smith. Damn, we're about to see some bad shots.
Try it.
Other teams like the Bucks have lost absolutely no one at the moment, and the Clippers hadn't lost anyone until this report. And the losses of these players is already enough to change the chemistry and complexion of playoff teams. There is the added risk of players catching COVID, which would be horrible in itself, and eliminate those players from teams. I like to think of them as season-ending injuries. Imagine how injuries in the playoff could derail a championship run. We saw the Warriors last year have to change up their whole style. Just think about if a superstar like AD or Harden get it. Just like that, their whole championship hopes are over. Not only that, if role players get it, that means that key pieces of teams will be missing, which could make all the difference. Like when Serge Ibaka was injured and missed the first 2 games of the 2014 Western Conference Finals against the Spurs, both of which the Thunder lost. Next game, Ibaka would come back and the Thunder would win. It's not all on Serge Ibaka, but the fact is that role players make a huge difference, especially when they have a key role or key matchup. A player getting COVID is like a season-ending injury, but it's like getting a contagious injury. Even with constant testing, a player with COVID who's asymptomatic could possibly show up negative and spread in a game. Or if players hang together at the resort and aren't getting tested, it can spread in a blink of the eye. Imagine 3 to 4 players from the same team getting COVID. Now, that team is pretty much eliminated from this season, but does that mean that the NBA stops and shuts down? Does it continue but just without that team? I don't know, there's just a bunch of questions surrounding that, which gets me to the next point on the whole Asterisk championship. It's the notion that this championship, regardless of who wins it, has an asterisk next to it due to the extraordinary circumstances. Giannis said that it's the player's job to push through. Doc Rivers said that the team that wins this deserves a gold star, not an asterisk. But one thing that Giannis said really defined these statements. He said, "We can't go in there with a cloud mind. If you love to play basketball, it will be quick. If you have doubts, you're not going to be ready to play, you're not going to help your team." And maybe that's why players and coaches all around the league involved don't think that there's an asterisk, because they're trying to get in that win everything at all costs mentality, the Mamba mentality. And so they're not trying to make a way out for themselves. I agree, this championship has no asterisk if none of the players get COVID. That's because then every team, every player is in the same situation and is trying to win a championship under the same circumstances. But if any star or role player get it, it changes the entire dynamic. Like if LeBron got it, then whoever wins has a huge asterisk because a literal pandemic took out their competition. Same if a player like Giannis, Kawhi, or even key pieces like Chris Middleton and Lou Will get it and the Lakers end up winning. This is not an argument against LeBron if he ends up winning or an excuse if he ends up losing. This is not all about LeBron. I
mean, you can make the case that all these things it's insurmountable to a degree. If he's able to accomplish this.
This doesn't even take into context how the players are going to be after a 4-month break. A normal offseason for a player who gets out in the first round of playoffs is around 6 months, from the end of April to the end of October. Training camps start a month before the season, and players usually do offseason workouts to get better before training camp. That's actually a time they get better, usually about a month and a half to 2 months before training camp starts. Players who end up in the finals every year, aka LeBron, usually get 4 months of an offseason. And you know how teams sometimes look at the beginning of the season? Yeah, they don't always look like themselves, right? And we're probably going to see that in the regular season games when they start up, and maybe into the playoffs, because the timelines are comparable. Like I said in my NBA suspension video, certain players benefit, certain players lose out. James Harden gets to finally go into the playoffs rested and not burnt out. He's also a lot skinnier, which can hurt and help his game. This video isn't about that, but hey, he's skinnier. A guy like LeBron times his workouts and conditioning year-round to be in peak shape during May and June. It's not sustainable to be in the best shape all year round, but with this break, plans have to shift. Look, LeBron looks like he's having fun, but this concept applies to every player. They have to adapt to unprecedented circumstances, because each team could literally have their own separate video, especially the title contenders. Let me know if you want a video on how this impacts the Lakers, the Rockets, Bucks, etc. But the matter of the fact is that it's going to be a race on which team can get informed first, rather than which team may necessarily be better overall. For those saying that the NBA is in a bubble for this exact reason, that they will constantly get tested and that they are confined to a luxurious resort with the best facilities in the world, so there shouldn't really be any problems, you have to remember there are more than 300 NBA players confined to this bubble, and these are over 300 NBA players isolated from their families with nothing else to do. Stephen A. Smith brought up their extracurricular activities.
Do we really think that the recreational activities, what these guys are accustomed to, are going to be compromised for 3 months? The guys that are married without their wives, the guys that ain't married without their women, you really think they honoring a bubble for 3 months?
And you know what? He got a point. I'm gonna go back to what Dame said. My confidence ain't great because you're telling me you're gonna have 22 teams full of players following all the rules? When we have 100% freedom, everybody don't follow the rules. I don't have much confidence. That doesn't even begin to mention the coaches who are all at higher risk simply because of their age. Greg Popovich is 71, Mike D'Antoni is 69, Alvin Gentry is 65. Then add the limited coaching staff and crew, and now that's a whole host of people that have to be very strict. And we really don't know what each player is about to do during the nights.
Hi, how are you?
When the NBA was first suspended, Adam Silver stated that we shouldn't think about restarting the league if a few coronaviruses would shut the league down. But just last week, he said that if there are a significant number of cases, that the NBA would stop without giving a number on what qualifies as significant. I want this season to return, to play out, and I have faith that the NBA is taking every precaution imaginable to make sure that the players are safe and that everyone in the bubble is in the bubble. But deep down, I have this feeling that we're going to get a couple of games out and then the league is going to have to shut down. As an NBA fan, it might be better to be ignorant. Ignorance is bliss, right? But to ignore all that is happening, all that surrounds this NBA restart, would be a disservice to yourself. You should come up with your own conclusion about what this season means, but it's definitely not normal. But what do you think? Who's gonna win the NBA championship? Is there an asterisk on the chip? Drop a like for the NBA, cause yeah. New reaction channel, spam that up. I'm gonna be on Twitch live talking to people and their hot takes on Discord, so yeah, tune in tonight. And if you're still here, you're a real one, so comment restart so I know. The Instagram shout of the day goes to Senzo, and the all-day notification shout goes to my boy, Day One. He hops in on the streams, Raptors fans, and in some of my very first videos, Armand. Thanks for the all-day support. Make sure to bell for all your notifications, and if you're not a sub, hit that subscribe button, join the all-day community for more fire content, all-day support. It's your boy MJ. We out, and we vibing.
Okay, just stop in my spaceship. Okay,
should've known.